The Business Hub.
With Outsource IT Solutions, making the cloud work for your business.
James Mitchell, welcome back to the show. How are you?
Yeah, very well, thank you. Thanks for having me again.
Good stuff. No, always a pleasure. And we always learn lots about the cloud when you're in here. Complex subjects, so we're sort of splitting it down into lots of different interesting segments, and we've done quite a few already. If you've missed them, it's well worth taking a look back through the archive on the Pirate 2 website to find out all of the elements that we've been talking to James about. But today we're going specifically environmental. We're going a bit green with it, and this is fascinating to me because I can't, when you talk about the cloud and making businesses green, I'm kind of thinking, okay, yeah, not sure.
What's very interesting, just on the way into the studio, Mark, we bumped into Verian Jones of Cornwall Sustainability Awards, and James and she introduced each other to each other, and her first question was, so is that a green solution, James, wasn't it? So, yeah, very, very timely.
Good bit of networking, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, kick us off then, James. Where do we start with this?
Well, it's all about exploiting the technology. So there's lots of different aspects to it, but with the cloud, we've talked about remote desktop and the ability to have virtual servers. So really taking these big hulks of equipment out of your office and actually streamlining it down and reducing the power consumption within an office.
Right, okay, that's how. So, because this is the part I couldn't work out, because presumably you've still got to have the server, you've still got to have the power powering the server, but you're talking about this being in a more efficient phase, yeah?
In a much more efficient, yes. So the server itself, there's not necessarily a need for it in-house, so we can remove that. And I mean, some of those servers, they can be gobbling sort of at least £50 a month on energy alone.
Not to mention chucking out waste heat. Ours used to, before we went cloud, used to make the office hot,
So the Chamber's cloud-based, is it?
We're cloud-based, have been for nearly 18 months now, yes, yeah. So where that's gone, I don't know, Mark.
Has it made? Oh well, this is quite interesting actually, because I didn't realise. So, has that made a difference to you in any way, or like positively or negatively?
We swapped over one weekend, and it's made. There was a bit of an issue. I can't remember what it was now. The first morning, and since then, it's made no difference whatsoever. But that's only because in my IT ignorance, I had an IT manager who did that. I've got no idea really. It's more secure, isn't it, James?
Yes.
And somebody else is looking after the problem for us now. But whether that's made us less or more resilient to cyber attack or anything like that, I've really got no idea, to be honest. I've taken the expert's opinion, and the fact that we didn't have to clutter up the office with the server and worry about having to back up ourselves every night. We just leave the computer on and it's backed up remotely now. Yeah. It just seems a better system, and we're not a highly. We're not like a sort of, we haven't got any technical secrets or anything that, so it wasn't a huge decision from our point of view, but just vaguely better, I think.
Yeah. See, James, you probably didn't realise you were going to get a testimonial from Kim this morning. So, but for the concept of cloud, it's obviously worked. Chamber's
it worked absolutely fine. Really good. Yeah, and I suppose that our data is stored somewhere. But that's the bit where it's mystifying, isn't it? I think with that sort of technology, you just don't know where and how.
Yeah.
And part of that is the advantage with Outsource IT, that we look after our own servers and they're actually hosted in Cornwall.
Right.
So you get all those benefits with the cloud that we've been talking about, and that's, like you say, a great testimonial to the cloud.
Yeah.
But obviously we know that they're within the confines of Cornwall.
See, it would be pretty shocking if we found out that the Chamber of Commerce's servers weren't in Cornwall.
What if they were in Devon?
What if
that would be terrible, wouldn't it? Yeah.
That's hilarious. But no, great. So testimonial there. But in terms of green, then getting back to subject for today, you've already said that the way you described it, you said your servers were overheating, and they were clearly using then loads and loads of power. So presumably you will have seen a benefit.
Yeah, there's a cost benefit as well as I think as well as appearing to be concerned about the energy usage and looking like you're up with the state-of-the-art best practice on these things. It's just better not to have that thing generating heat and noise and consuming energy in the office. Yeah, I've got it wasn't one of our major decisions as to how much we were going to save in terms of energy costs, but one hopes that with the, if your servers are based in Cornwall, there are some economies of scale of power usage as well as cost savings by doing it in one place.
Yeah, and that's all part of it, is you are sharing the resources as well as the CO2 emission. You're sharing all
the
of
carbon
that and
footprint is
reducing
gonna be,
the carbon footprint in total.
And it's also interesting. So, in your experience, then James, people aren't necessarily coming to you and saying, "Right, I want to run this office greener. Can I do that in the cloud?" Is that just a secondary benefit or bonus?
I think it's secondary benefit and bonus.
Yeah.
More people are becoming aware of being green. The government's pushing it more and trying to make the UK more green, but it is a side benefit at the minute. But it's little changes, and it's the little small things that then add up, and you make a great sort of carbon footprint saving, energy consumption saving. It all adds up.
So if you ever wanted to work that calculation back, do you think you could? I mean, because presumably you've got the servers, you've got access to that, you know what it's using. So there could actually potentially, for somebody that wants to achieve ISO 14000 or something like that, you could work out whether they were actually burning less, with the cloud servers than their own.
Yeah, we can work it all backwards. Sort of average, to give an idea, sort of average PCs use sort of 200 watts on their power supplies is sort of an average. So I've made a few calculations, but some of those can be running sort of £26 a month with the 200 watts. But we can, by using some clever technology, bring that right back down. 30 watt PCs running at like £4.
Right.
So, you can really reduce. I know that's monetary.
That's per
terms.
PC though.
Yeah, essentially per
See,
PC.
when you scale it up, I mean,
Quite. If you scale it up, or any small business in Cornwall, we need to always to look at our costs, even if you're one person working from home. I mean, these are the savings, which means you can do something else, can't they?
Absolutely.
you can upgrade your social media activity or do something else with those few pounds that you're saving. So well worth it, even from that point of view. Yeah.
There are other ways that we can make the business more green, presumably by using a cloud-based server.
Yeah, very much. So I've seen businesses basically try and go paperless as much as possible. They've bought in specialist software, off-the-shelf software, get it installed. We can run it as a remote app that we've spoken about before. So then you can use it on PCs, tablets, smartphones, anywhere that you want to use it. I've even seen companies actually have software developed and then it's hosted in the cloud. And again, they can use it from any web browser, and it just streamlines the whole sort of system, but it also cuts the paperwork out of the office as well. So another saving there.
Yeah, which could be a big deal. Again, like for us, I mean, the amount of paper that we have recycling bins, but I mean, they're full.
Yeah.
We're recycling them, but it'd be better if we weren't filling them up.
No, I think there's a whole drift towards best practice there, isn't there? Which you're just conscious still that even in a small office, the amount of paper that most people have lying around, which is then, has to be then paid to be confidentially shredded or something at some later stage. The best we can iron that out of the system, the quicker we can iron out the system, the better, I think.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Any other benefits to add into that as well?
Well, there's always many, but sort of another one we've spoken about is the remote access.
Yeah.
So it actually cuts down on commuting. People don't need to drive into the office, cut down the long commutes, can work from home. Again, saving the fuel, saving the CO2 emissions.
Which in Cornwall could be a major advantage.
Oh, and the time. I drive out of Truro most mornings and it's queued back for miles. Just people sat there with their engines ticking over.
Yeah.
You think about the time saving as well as the green side of it. It can really be a big advantage.
Agreed.
The industry may not want to hear this, but I think as we become more used to working flexibly like that, we won't have to have the 3 or 4 devices which we've all got at the moment. So I think there'll actually be a reduction in consumption. You'll have one efficient handheld device which does everything and keeps you completely connected to your cloud-based services, whatever they may be. And you won't have to have the desktop computer at work, the laptop, the smartphone, the iPad, and so on and so forth, which people are becoming a bit profligate with at the moment, I think. So I think there's possibly a benefit from that point of view too.
It's interesting you should say that, because we are looking at the minute, Microsoft released a new phone at the end of last year, but as part of that, it's a product called Continuum. But basically, smartphone works exactly as a smartphone, but you can plug it in and it plugs into a monitor, and it can become a PC.
Right.
It's a very stripped down basic PC, but to use it and connect into cloud services.
Yeah.
And the joy is you can still use it as a phone whilst you use it as a PC.
Yeah.
So,
you see, people who are very steeped in it, like you are, say it's a basic PC. But I suspect most of us use our PCs for web access, for Google search and email.
I agree.
Really, and
Which is all you need. Yeah,
it's just really what most of us need 90% of the time. Obviously, if you're in a creative industry and you've got huge PDFs or files coming that you need to change as well, like in my old world of magazine publishing, that you needed better equipment for that. But for most of us, let's face it, it's those two things, isn't it?
And solitaire. I mean, we play a lot of solitaire. on.
Do you? I never have time for that.
I thought you did as well, Ken.
No.
Right, so just me then. Would it have solitaire though? Seriously, that's fine.
You get much more sophisticated solitaire on the cloud. It's an international version.
3D solitaire. Okay, great stuff. Well, look, lots there, and thought processes, and hopefully more light bulbs going on there as well. If people want to get in touch with you and they want to find out more, James, about, or just have a conversation, really, I think is step one, isn't it? You know, I would imagine you don't get many phone calls with people saying, right, I want a full, cloud-based strategy. How do they get in touch with you?
Yeah, so same applies. It's all free consultations to start with. So they can call the office 01872 211 477. You can email info@outsourceitsolutions.co.uk. And this month we're over at the Cornwall Business Show over at Weybridge on the 17th of March.
Yep.
So keep an eye out for us there. We've got demonstrations. Come and have a chat.
Yep.
See what it's all about.
Good stuff. All right, and we'll stick links to the website as usual on the webpage for P2 as well. But genuinely interesting stuff. So thank you very much for coming in, James. Good to see you again.
Thank you.
The Business Hub with Outsource IT Solutions, making the cloud work for your business.